the next mistake that, and this is especially popular one when we are talking about DevOps data, is not classifying data to backup. So let's say that we've made the call, okay, we need to refresh our business continuity plan and our disaster recovery strategy with a specific place for our DevOps data. Because this is where is our source code, this is where we keep information about our business, our intellectual property, this is what runs our company in practice. And we think, okay, we need to update it in terms of risks, but now what data we should back up? And typically when somebody without enough knowledge approaches this topic, they think, okay, we have repos, maybe we have Jira or some other type of project management tool, but we are looking at our data as a one conglomerate. We are thinking, okay, we have 6,000 repositories, 7,000 repositories, 500 repositories, and 100 Jira projects, let's say. Okay, but the question that I start asking my customers if they tell me something like this is that, okay, but out of this, how many are the data that matter? Why is that? Because if we try to back up all of this, treating it as a one blob, so treating it as a 6,000 repositories, let's say, it will be extremely difficult to back up all of them at once, back up them all in efficient way. And probably even keeping all this data in one storage is not even secure. First of all, if you try to run such a backup of everything at once without looking into what sits in this data, probably you can make backup once per week at best. Secondly, when the incident happens and you need to make use of your backup and, for example, restore the data, then you would be restoring everything at once because our plan assumes that we back up everything and then we restore everything. And that's not efficient. So coming back to my question, which data really matter for you? We should break it down into mission critical data. So software which is running our core infrastructure, software which is core of our product, software which is key application for our daily analysis, daily reporting, something that we cannot live without. We need to think about our ongoing projects data. So something that will stop people from continue working. We don't want to have people on idle because of the incident. We want to allow people to get back to work as soon as possible, no matter if the data loss incident in DevOps happened. If you have organization which is purely dedicated to software development, and out of the sudden they would lose access to their GitHub account, they cannot continue working, like maybe for a day, based on the things which they had noted down or their own devices, but they cannot continue working for prolonged time. And having such a team on idle costs you a ton of money. So you want them back to work as soon as possible. So those are probably two things that you want to back up separately, back up with as high frequency as possible, so that the data loss in case of incident is smallest here, and you are able to restore those data as quickly as possible if needed. And other things, your intellectual property and your source code of your support systems, of minor projects, minor improvements, maybe long-term R&D projects, or maybe just archive of projects that you've done for your customers in the past, either internal or external. This is less relevant. Maybe we can back this up with smaller frequency. Maybe we can restore those later on, not in a first go. If we decide on doing this, we can, for example, split our 1,000 repositories into 200, 300 repositories that matter, and 700, 800 repositories, which are archived, which are backlog, which are things that we can come back to in a long run. Thanks to this, we can optimize around those requirements. And if you are going to tell me, but okay, how I can take all my data and split the way I back it up in an appropriate way. Firstly, you obviously need to sit down with your team leads, with your project managers, with your security engineers and review this stuff to know more or less which repositories are important or which projects in your Jira are important. And secondly, you need to have tooling in place, which allows you to break down your backups and backup schedule into those different categories. That's why if you are not able to do it right now, it might be a good time to start looking for different technology to enable this.